Hey folks, I know it's been an awful long time since I shot some video, and I'm blaming her. I built this sailboat this summer, and between the sailboat and gardening I really didn't do much else. I really neglected the videos, so I apologize for that. But today it's September 29th, so we're talking about maybe some snow on Friday morning. Getting down in the 20s Thursday night. We've already had some hard freezes, so the gardens are pretty much done. Even in the hoop houses we had some freeze damage, so the tomato plants are pretty much done. There's still some pepper plants growing, and we'll go in there another time. I still want to do some videos on processing our vegetables, our tomatoes and peppers. We made 2 batches of salsa already and some batches of tomato sauce. And we're going to dehydrate some of our potato crop this year and do some other gardening type things. And then of course, we're going to put our beds to bed for the winter. So we have all that coming up. But today, I'll take you around the boat and just give you a quick tour of it. I want to do a video at some point on this boat, but I'm hoping October will bless us with a day or two of sunny weather with some fairly light winds, so I can get you out in the boat and we can actually sail her. So I'll give you a quick tour of that, but today what I wanted to do is take our trailer, our camper off our utility trailer and put it onto our junky old trailer, tuck that away in the pole barn, at least for now. We have a moving job this weekend. Our son and daughter-in-law are moving to Duluth with their newborn son. Peggy and I are finally grandparents. So Emma James we're going to meet here for the first time, so that's exciting. But I'll take you a tour around the boat, then we'll get the camper off. So here she is, 18 feet by 8-foot beam, a cat-ketch with a bow mast up here, and the mizzen mast just past the midship, so back here. And the masts ended up being symmetrical. They're both 16 feet. I made them just from, you can't really see them because I have the sails wrapped around them. I made them from 2 16-foot 2x6s that I ripped in half and glued together and epoxied together, and then I shaped them and tapered them. So they've held up into some pretty strong winds. I've had her out 3 times already. Peggy and I had her out the first time with 20-mile-an-hour winds, and she wouldn't sail to windward very well. And it turns out it was because primarily the rudder that I had built was too small. So I built this one. I built a whole new rudder. So this one is, the total blade length is 4 feet and it's 17 inches wide, so it's big. But it did the job and it sails to windward pretty good now. We have a space for a little electric trolling motor, which comes in handy when you can't get back to shore without it. So this is the rear cockpit with 6 feet of space. The forward cockpit has 8 feet. Pretty much. This is the dagger board. It's not installed right now, but it's at an angle, so the dagger board case is at an angle. Okay, so here, to keep the dagger board up, these are those little plastic wedges that you buy to wedge under your toilet if you have a toilet seat that wobbles. Well, they work really slick. I just secure them with this lanyard so I don't lose them, but they just go between the dagger board and the dagger board case, and they will hold that dagger board up at any height. that you want. So one of those frugal innovations. So the forward cockpit then has bench seats on each side and then a bench across the back, and that's the dagger board case. There's bow storage up front. The trailer was quite an adventure there, because it's not easy to find a trailer that doesn't have a boat on it. So I found this one. It was basically junked, and had a friend weld 3 feet onto the tongue, took it all apart, completely sanded it down and repainted it. And because the boat was substantially wider than the trailer, I made bunks for it that go out over the wheels, and then the rollers that she actually launches quite easily and works pretty slick. So that's enough about the boat for now. We're going to get this camper off the trailer. First I have to get the canoe off the camper, and then we're going to remove it. The canoe comes off easy enough. I can do it all by myself. Now I don't need a ladder to take the canoe off or to put it on. I just need a little step ladder. We have a little 2-step stool that travels with the camper that we use to put the straps on. But I moved the camper then over here, so I have a fairly level surface to back this other trailer up once I get all the pine needles off it. And those are the side rails that come off this trailer, and we'll put those back on. And just a little quick tour again. We did a tour of this camper last fall, just before we tucked it away, and it was snowing, if you remember. But we'll give another little quick tour. I just left this front rail on because I'm late, because it helped with a little bit of more tongue weight. There isn't a ton of tongue weight on this thing. But another nice feature of this thing is I can pick it up and move it. So you get to a campsite and you want to finagle the thing around, it's easy enough to do that with this. So remember, the whole thing weighed in at 1,000 pounds. That's a little over 500 for the camper shell, and then 500 for the trailer. So there's, again, this is under the bed storage. This is for kind of wet storage. It's isolated from the living space. And remember when we toured this last fall, we didn't have a bed. Well, we've since gotten one, and we love it. It actually, we sleep better on this than we do in the bed in the house. This has a mattress pad on it. But I'll do a little video, another separate video on this mattress and what we think of it and why we think it's ideal for this camper. It's a full-size foam mattress. And again, here's our extension in the rear, which allows a full-size bed to come back behind the door, so it gives us 3 feet of floor space. And then all kinds of under the bed storage. So again, this camper is fixed to the trailer with 4 bolts, 1 in each corner. So we're going to take those bolts off and take the camper off. So I got the 4 bolts out, so this thing's not bolted to the trailer anymore. I took it off the CRV and used the jack stands so that it's secure, and then I backed the old trailer up and had that hooked up to the 4-wheeler. So Here's where having an assistant is beneficial, and I tend not to wait for an assistant, so I try to figure out a way to do it myself, which isn't ideal, because what I need to do here is pry the camper up using this 2x4, and at the same time I'm going to put one of these 5-foot pieces of PVC pipe as close to the center of the camper as I can get it. And try to get it so that it's not sticking out like that. Get in there. Come on now. No, gotta get bit. As I say, having an assistant is sometimes worth the wait. Okay, so I have it so that the pipe's underneath the camper without it sticking out, so it's not hitting the wheel wells at all. So then maybe I'll stick another one underneath here. Well, no. Now I'm going to try to move it so that I get a pipe. Let's see, let's try setting that there. Okay. Now you don't want the thing to get away from you. That's kind of the other concern. So done with that 2x4. So we're going to want a pipe here on the next trailer. How we doing? Okay. Now once it's on those pipes, it kind of pushes around fairly easily. Sometimes too easily, I guess. Okay, it needs to go this way. So now you can see that the camper needs to get pushed this way a little bit. Like I say, it's easy enough on those pipes to do that. Yeah, we're almost there. I guess I'd like it to come forward just a little bit more. That's probably good enough, but since I'm by myself, I just went and got a 6x6 block of wood, a little piece to use as a fulcrum here on the other trailer, and then I just took a spring clamp and spring clamped the end of that PVC pipe and attached a piece of parachute cord to it. So I'm going to lift the back of the trailer, the camper up. Come on out of there now. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, for Pete's sake. There we go. There. Now, just drop her down. And it's on the other trailer. Now all summer we had this thing sitting on cement blocks on 2x4s. It wasn't on either trailer because we were using the old trailer around the place and the new trailer as a utility trailer. So it doesn't have to go onto another trailer. It can go onto a platform. You just want something that's pretty much the same height as the trailer to make life a lot easier. And as you can see, doing it alone isn't ideal, but it certainly can be done. But using two people, it's 5 minutes to transfer it. It takes longer to take the bolts out and to put the side rails back up on the trailer than it does to actually move the trailer, the camper, off the trailer. So that's kind of what we're about. You know, here at Backwood Basics, we're all about coming up with innovative ways to enjoy the lifestyle that we like to enjoy. Whether it's the sailboat or the canoe or the camper, these are all our own designs because we couldn't find what we were looking for. We wanted that kind of canoe. We wanted a 14-foot canoe that you could stand up in, you could fish out of, fairly lightweight, inexpensive, something you could build in 40 hours and cost $300. Sailboat, okay, that took a little more than 40 hours. That took all summer, but we got the boat we wanted. We couldn't find an 8-foot wide boat that you could pile 10 people into, that you could sail single-handed if you want to. You just turn the rudder and the sails flop over, and sure, you can buy a boat about that size, but you're going to spend $15,000, $20,000 on something. So the other thing was we needed something that we could pull behind our CRV. You can only pull 1,500 pounds. That thing only weighs 350 pounds. I can wheel that thing around. And same with the camper. We couldn't find a camper lightweight enough to pull with the CRV, under 1,500 pounds. Yeah, you can. $10,000, $15,000, you can buy these lightweight things, but we didn't want to spend that much. And we wanted something for us, something simple and basic, something you could, had enough standing headroom, you can get in, not entirely standing, but you can get up in the morning, pull your pants on. A place to put a porta potty up in front and be comfortable for us. That's all we care about. We're not going to sell these things, but we're all about innovative ways to live a more self-reliant lifestyle. So, until next time, and hopefully it won't be months, this is Mark again with Backwood Basics. Let's build stuff together.